Sounds like a setup.
It's a setup. It's a setup.
So today we thought we would discuss, what do you want to discuss?
We're going to discuss children.
Reading by the fire, teacups.
We're going to discuss children.
My favorite earrings.
Or maybe a fun fact about Kristen.
Huh.
So
this is not fun. All right, I don't like this.
So Kelly has been. Do you follow our Instagram, because our stories are so fun? Kelly has been posting once a week.
Employee spotlight.
And so then she always has a fun fact, and there are things that we never knew. And
that's really fun.
So they posted Diana's this week, and she said she can whistle really loudly. So we were like, okay, do it.
We gotta have a video.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I was down in another room, and all of a sudden I heard this loud whistle. I'm like, she really can whistle.
Uh-huh.
So what is a fun fact about Kristen?
That I've worked here for 10 years. That's really fun. Yay.
I'll tell you more fun facts.
Hey, we're going to talk about borders and panels. And I feel like I wanted to edit this fun fact before you say
it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. We're having a little family get together this weekend. And so the guys
everybody voted me to drive Sally up there. Nobody wanted her in the car.
Nobody wanted me to ride.
They voted me the one.
That's not how it worked out. But anytime we do any kind of family get together, anything, Kristen becomes this big party mom. And the kids are so excited. She has the best ideas for the kids, and she keeps them busy all the time. And I think that's a really fun fact. So she can be like the treat mom or the game mom. There are always games. There might be
They're so
hair paint. The kids, they have a blast. Or there might be water balloon fights. Stuff.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. So I'm not sure what she's got planned, but
crocheting.
We'll let you know. Crocheting. Reading by the fire.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome to Farmhouse Fabrics, and don't tell any fun facts about me.
I know. I like this game. Actually, you go first.
I was pretty careful, right?
So today we would like to talk to you about border fabrics, panel fabrics. We have a scalloped edge that kind of lives somewhere in the border panel world. And then we also want to talk about, what do we have up here? Yes, using a bodkin, how to use it to flip your straps right cut out.
Because the juniper pattern by Peony Patterns is a new pattern, and I just made this, and so the girls were asking me how I turned those straps right side out. So we'll show you.
We got a demo.
We have a demo, and we have a strap, and we have our great little bodkin that I can only find because I tied this yellow ribbon on it.
Put it around your neck, or you won't be able to find it later.
That's right.
So if you are watching us on Instagram, we do have overhead capability, and I'm pretty giddy today because we have, so far, all of our tests have no glitches, and the screen is not blurry. So Facebook and YouTube, if you would let us know that that's also the case for what you're seeing, we're pretty happy about it. So Instagram, if you hop onto our YouTube channel, which is Farmhouse Fabrics, or if you join us on Facebook, you can also see the overhead component, which gives you an up close for demonstrations and then details on fabrics.
Those are also recorded, so you could go back later and see that. Yeah.
So here we are today, and we are going to actually talk to you about how to orient your fabric when you're laying out a pattern. Because when you look at this, sometimes you have designs that we talk about that run vertically or horizontally. So how would you know? How would you know what we're saying if it's a vertical or horizontal design? So when you look at this, you might look at it this way and say, okay, well, the border is going to be running horizontally, which is not the case. The border is running vertically with the selvage. So,
well, the way it's printed, and on a normal piece of fabric, let's open it up and show the selvage edge.
So this particular fabric is a border fabric. So as we talk about how to orient, or how fabric is oriented when you're describing it,
so you can see,
we're also going to talk about why this is a border.
This is a selvage And so this we call a double border because this is along both selvage edges. And so vertical is actually printed vertically because it's printed parallel, right alongside, parallel to the selvage edge. But the way you would use it, I think the way it's planned for it to be used is to bring it around this way and use it on the bottom of a garment or the bottom of a blouse or something like that, or the bottom of a sleeve. And so the problem comes in, there's no problem with this really, but the only problem that comes in is if you're looking at the back of your pattern and it says you need 3 yards to make this garment. Well,
you need more if you're using a border.
Well, sometimes, and sometimes maybe not even as much.
Mm-hmm.
But then if
not
it's a direct,
really, you think you can use less because it's a border?
Sometimes, because you might be able to cut your entire skirt piece in one width and only have one seam. And then you might have all this extra up here to cut your bodice and your sleeves all the way down. Let's say maybe you want to put...
But that's how you're going to lay out any pattern with a skirt.
No.
I mean, you're not going to try to measure the length of the...
if you did a regular skirt, you might put your first pattern piece on the fold. This might be center front, and then you have to have another whole length to do the center back. I mean, to do the back skirt, and then you might not have very much along the edges, and then you need enough to do a bodice front, bodice back, and a sleeve. So sometimes it actually takes less fabric to do it this way. The only way you really know for sure is to decide ahead of time how many inches you want that skirt to be, what the circumference is, and then you know how much fabric to get. But you can't always go by the pattern when you're buying fabric for a border. I always say to people, well, how full do you want your skirt to be, and how long is the skirt section? Because then you can decide, do I have enough up here to cut my bodice? It's a
45-inch wide border, or double border even.
See, this is kind of a narrow border, so there's going to be a lot of fabric to work with for a skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And another,
I'm loving the video. They said it's nice and clear.
Good.
Awesome.
I'm glad.
Yes.
Another thing I've seen people do is take the border, and on the bodice, we're always thinking the border has to be at the bottom, but they might even make it at, let's say, the top of the skirt.
Or even turn it on the bodice
itself. Or turn it on the bodice itself. Mm-hmm. But you can have your border at the top of it. I think we did it with this.
It's harder
to blue.
tell.
It's harder to tell because I don't have the actual fabric here. But you can see.
I mean, you did it on your juniper for today. You used the border at the bodice. You didn't upturn it.
I did. So this time, this is probably...
So this is an Annie sundress. We like this. We've made this many times. But it's a Primrose Lane pattern. Annie sundress is the name of it.
So you can take it. Let's say that the big flowers are the border, and then it goes up into all of this where they're just scattered flowers. You can turn it up and put your big flowers at the top of the waist, and then it goes down into blue here, and it kind of coordinates, where you pull in the more scattered, and then this is more scattered. So borders are fun to play with. You can do a lot of different things with it.
But what we're trying to describe is there are borders and then there are panels. Mm-hmm, so a paneled fabric is something that, so you're going to have your border that runs along the edges of your selvage edge. Mm-hmm. But then a paneled fabric is going to have a design that goes across it. Mm-hmm. So this is a hard one.
Well, this one's a panel and a border. And that one,
but really it's like a square.
But see, this was the last piece. So when we get fabrics from garment manufacturers, sometimes they'll show you a line where it was intended to be cut for that particular garment, and we're always trying to figure out how they use that.
Right.
And so this actually. Here are the selvage. Yep, here are the selvage edges. Right here. This could be used as a border. And then but it's cut as a panel. So you can't use this continually because there's actually a line printed on there where it's meant to be cut apart.
So when you have a paneled fabric, it is you're buying it by the panel, but that does not mean a yard, because most of our fabrics are sold by the yard or by the half yard. But if it's a panel, you might have a panel that's 2 1/4 yards long, or you might have a panel that's 3/4 of a yard. So by the panel purchases are different than our traditional by the yard fabrics.
So we try to give you good pictures so you can really see how to lay things out. And actually, the dress that I made to show you today is a paneled fabric, and I think it's a little bit less than 3/4 of a yard.
So this is actually a panel border. So it has both of those things.
Right.
So you can see the border that runs along the selvage, which is that nice double border, because it is a single border.
No, it's single.
It is a single. So single and double is only one selvage is printed with that design. So there's a single border. If it's double, then you have the same design printed on both.
So here's your selvage edge, right? Yeah. And then this I put at the bottom of her dress and also at the bottom of the yoke. But I was hoping that I would have enough of this piece to make the straps. And I didn't have enough because I had to cut. These are doubled. I had to cut 4 of these. And I used 3 panels to make this dress, and I didn't have enough. I didn't have quite enough.
I can't believe you didn't have enough. That's wild.
Yep. It would have been.
Did you cut this out of your design for the skirt? You just had.
I cut my. Oh, this was the skirt. Yeah, this is the bottom of the skirt. And so I didn't even really measure how full the skirt was going to be. I just cut this part off, and I put one in the front and one in the back, like this. And you can see that there's very little border down here, and I haven't hemmed her dress yet, but I'm going to just put a little facing and turn it up a tiny bit so I don't lose that navy blue, because I love that blue down here. So
I like it. So then we're talking about how Scalloped Edge kind of lives somewhere in the border panel world, because it is detail at the selvage, but it's a little different because you don't call it a border, because really this is the exact same design going all the way down. They've just changed the selvage to have a scallop. So even though both sides are scalloped, you wouldn't call this a double border fabric. You call it Scalloped Edge, which again, if you orient your fabric where the selvages run vertically, this is going to be on the edge of your fabric.
Hey, here's the cool thing with it. This is a Swiss fabric that I love. You can use this at the bottom of your garment, or you can actually cut that off and use it as an angel sleeve
and run ribbon down the beading.
This is really, really a pretty fabric. There's a lot you can do with this fabric.
But mostly when we sew with this fabric, we actually sew the skirt where the rows run horizontally around the skirt. Because when it gathers up more nicely with this design instead of across it. Actually, both. Well, does pretty well in this one.
But then you can use this at the bottom, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty. This comes in pink and white, white on white, yellow on white, I think, or ecru, and blue on white. It's pretty.
So this is another, it's going to be, let's see if it's a single or a double. This is a double border also. So this has that ruching effect. We just sold all of our yardage of the white on white ruching fabric, but this is another colorway, and it's in flamingo, and we have it on sale at $14.50 as well. And I think the other was a single border, wasn't it?
No, it was double. It was double. Yeah.
So again,
so how cute for even a maxi or something like that. This would be really, really cute in the Juniper pattern by Peony Patterns. And having this ruching at the bottom, and you could even put the ruching across the bodice. It would be cute. Adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little, did you know? And actually, I want to show this one too, because it's.
Oh yeah, this is a neat one.
This is. It's a kind of wild and fancy. It's a silk. It's 100% silk charmeuse, And it is a printed, and this is the right side, isn't it? It's much brighter.
It's so pretty. Either side is pretty.
So this is also a paneled fabric, but in the panel you actually get 2 designs,
and they're probably used as scarves
Mm-hmm.
because you can see there's a tiny little white line right down the center, and so when you purchase one panel you actually end up with two scarves.
Designs. Yeah,
and so
it's a designer fabric.
I want to say horses, but it might not. Is it horse stuff?
It does look like horse stuff.
Looks like bridles and all that kind of junk. But it feels really good. Speaking of silk charmeuse, we did get in a big shipment of some beautiful designer fabrics, and Hope and Chrissy have been busy putting them on, and there was a gorgeous printed silk charmeuse. Ooh, I love that.
The one that sold?
The one that sold.
Yeah, that was really pretty.
You missed it.
Yeah.
You missed
I
it.
was just rubbing that in for y'all today.
But if it didn't sell very fast, I probably would have taken it home with me.
So I'm really loving, actually, it's been interesting. These fabrics that we're about to show, they're lace fabrics, but they have been propped up beside Christy's desk while she's working to put them online. And I think I've seen every person that walks by stop at these to figure out what's going on with them.
I think they're made in Italy.
It's really beautiful.
I'm not positive, but a lot of these fabrics came from Italy, and yeah, these are really neat.
A lace fabric, but it's a bit heavier than how I typically think of the weight of a lace fabric.
But it drapes.
It drapes still, which is
really
interesting.
Pretty.
So tell me what you see in this. Like, what can you envision? Because it is, every time I look at it, I love it.
I think Kimberly Hudspeth could make something amazing. Like she could underline it or line it, and it would be, that's
did y'all see her in our newsletter this morning?
Oh my word.
She has this she got it's an aqua or the mint colorway of this Spanish imported fabric that we purchased, and it has rows of it's like stripes almost, but it's such a beautiful fabric.
Her page
so she posted a picture yesterday. She's at So Great to Know on Instagram, and she also has the Close of the Month Club.com, which you can follow her there for fitting classes. But she posted this picture where she's holding these fabulous shoes.
She's a shoe girl.
Yeah,
she's a
and
shoe
I'm like,
girl.
I put it in our newsletter this morning to highlight our fabrics, but I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I'm sharing this because the shoes are so beautiful, if it's because the skirt's so beautiful,
or she's so beautiful.
Yeah, she did it right. It's so pretty.
Yeah, but she can look at some of these fabrics and envision something amazing out of them. But I mean, I don't know. It can be a top. It could be.
I think it definitely could live as a skirt. You could go solid up top with this as a decorative skirt. But
they called this orange and pink. I call it copper and.
She calls it something better.
I call it better. I want to call this orange. Call it. Doesn't that look copper?
I definitely would say orange.
But then, no, don't say orange.
I mean, it's pretty. You can have pretty orange. I mean, you like Clemson and they're orange.
Yeah, but they're not. But they're orange. This is copper, and
it's like a blush orange.
There's the blush. Pink. Anyway, it's fabulous. I can't believe you're calling it orange.
I would say,
but it's okay.
Orange.
There you go.
Yeah.
But inside these little flowers, the way it's stitched almost looks like little tiny French knots. It's just really neat.
It is. I'm going to hold it up close. Actually, I'm going to flip to the overhead so y'all can see it. Here is, let's see. Will it even?
I'm going to hold this up for Instagram.
It really does not even do it justice still in the overhead component. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Let's see if y'all can see it there. It's pretty. It's really nice. And so then you have the burnt orange one as well. And here it is through Instagram. It's
very
interesting.
Unusual fabric. That's what we're finding with this latest shipment that came in. Some real gorgeous unusual things.
So Sally is on a mission for 2022, and she has made it to May 13th. It is Friday the 13th here, and it's scary because Sally has not dropped this weekly sew.
Can you believe it?
No.
Ooh, I've come very close.
Yes.
If we didn't have this Facebook Live or Instagram Live on Fridays, I probably wouldn't have made it sometimes. It's like, I got to have something to show.
So Sew Sally Sew is a weekly sewing challenge where Sally has challenged herself to complete a garment a week, or that's not true, to complete a sew.
Yeah.
So this week she had her double border. She had a border. It's a single border panel. Woo!
Yeah, it's a great
It's the Juniper by Peony Patterns. Let me grab it. And one of the demonstrations we want to show y'all today is how to use your bodkin to flip these straps. So there's lots of fun details to this dress, and we love to have Laura Hilton here.
She gave us a sneak peek of this pattern, and when I saw it, I thought, okay, I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that.
So when it comes to the straps, this is such a cool detail.
Yeah.
Because this is not one continuous piece from the bodice to create the straps. It actually has a piece that you add on to the bodice cut. So you have your bodice and it comes up to where the strapping would start. And then the bow tails are kind of created from that.
Here's the awesome thing. You know how sometimes you can tape for hours? This is the entire pattern. And then the rest of it, the different skirt variations, are measurements. So this is nice. I love this. Yeah, this is like right up my alley.
So this here is the part that creates the strap. So Sally is going to show you how she used her bodkin to flip that right side out.
Well, if
you go overhead.
Okay. I think sometimes if you sew a strap or a skinny piece that has to be turned right side out, it's hard to get it right side out if you're just doing it with your fingernails and poking it through. But one thing I wanted to show, I should have done this in a colored thread, but because this comes to a point, and then we can go overhead too. This comes to a point. When I sew down here to the point, I actually put my needle in
just a tiny bit. Yeah.
Like here. I put my needle down and then pivot and then sew 2 stitches over. So it's a little bit flat, 2 stitches over, needle down, and then I pivot and I come back up the other side. That's
for any point that you're making.
I do it with points like on collars and everything, because otherwise you can't ever get your fabric to go all the way to a really sharp point. It's very hard. And that helps you turn it. And so then when I trim it, I'm just going to trim I trim it close to that. And actually I would come back here and I would trim the entire thing, but I'm just going to trim this. But across here, I trim it going straight across flat. And so then now I'm going to, this is my point and my fabric is doubled. And this is my bodkin, and it has a little round.
Are you going to do it right there close to your body? Or are you going to take it off?
Maybe I'll take it off. I'm pretty good.
You're not limited.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to see her flipping that thing right there in front of her.
Well, and plus I use my belly as my third hand here. So then anyway, I kind of pull it apart at the top like this, pull it apart, and then poke that little ball end into here.
Y'all got to see this tummy action. I'm going back to the regular facing.
And then just push that against my belly. And so here I've got, now I can take that little round end and poke it up into that pointed area. And
voila.
Pull it down like this. And it's done. And then you can take it to the ironing board and press it. And so it's really
even
fast.
With that flat piece that you pivot, your pivot point and the 2 stitches over, you still get a nice point.
You do.
I mean, it's not, it doesn't look flat across the top.
But it helps you turn it, and then there's not so much fabric balled up under here. So it really helps to trim it, to sew. So you sew all the way down and you needle down and then pivot and go 2 stitches, needle down, pivot, and then come up the other side. And then trim it straight across straight across the end.
Sue says she uses her belly too.
Who said that?
Sue Estes.
Oh, Sue Estes. Well, it works, doesn't it? You can order a third hand, but why do that when you got a belly you can work with?
I feel like your teeth.
Oh, yeah, my teeth.
I mean everything. Elbows. I love the what is the thing called that you do with your leg?
The knee
I
pedal
love
that
that thing.
operates the knee lift on my sewing machine.
Because then you actually have your two hands right there.
So this is a very inexpensive tool, and I really do love it. It's great. I recommend it highly.
So with the juniper, it has this back. Tell me how this was. Ooh, I like this how that worked out, where it's kind of darker at the top.
Well, I'll show you. This is what I was gonna cut my straps out of. That was the piece that was going down the sides, and I thought, well, maybe I'll put it in the back. And so I put one side of it that way and to try and decide. But then in the end, I decided to run it straight across.
So tell me about when you put in the elastic. Like how did that go?
Well, this pattern is very, very easy to work with. And first of all, what I did was I used a lightweight tricot interfacing, baby interfacing, and I interfaced every piece except not this elastic piece. Every piece of the bodice and the straps. I only interfaced one layer of the straps, but I interfaced the two bodice backs and I interfaced the bodice front, and then I lined it in just a solid color. And then I used the pocket idea that from Peony Patterns. They have a free pocket pattern, and I made the pocket and put it in the side seams because my girls like pockets.
Just because this is fun, and I know she doesn't know. I don't think she knows. What was the name of that pocket pattern?
I don't know, because I really didn't use it.
No, you didn't. I think this was the Laura Hilton method for pockets.
It was the Laura Hilton method where you lay your hand down and draw around it. That's what I did.
That sounded really good.
Really bad. I'm so well. Okay.
They do have a free pocket
pattern.
But from head designer Laura Hilton, she definitely opened our eyes to the hand pocket method.
It's like she said, if it's going to fit my hand, it's going to fit the girls' hands. And so I'm like, hey, that's fine with me.
Me and Sally were not gifted with beautiful like piano hands.
Oh man, when I show my hands, it's like they look really terrible. It's like I need to put like some kind of
please do gloves. A lace glove up here every single time. And cut out your fingers. That would be hilarious.
You know, I can remember my mom.
It would be an estate sale find, I guarantee.
Terrible veins, you know, and I would sit there in church and keep myself occupied. I'd poke her veins, and I'm thinking, man, that looks rough. And now my grandkids come along and they're poking. Life goes on, people.
But you might see a lace glove edition of these beautiful hands here.
I want to know what you used to line it with.
I used a piece of fabric that was lying around in here that matched.
Y'all, it is a 12. It's not even the right anything, except that it works perfectly.
I was in a hurry and I did one quick walk through the shop and I didn't see what I wanted. And I'm like, okay, what do I have down here? What do I have? Nobody's going to see it, except now we're talking about it. But anyway, this is so cool, you guys. I got to tell you about this pattern. This piece, this is a piece that you actually make.
Just a tiny bit. And I can see it. Yep.
You make it separate, a separate piece. Do you want me to turn it around?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I can follow.
And so it's lined. And so you sew your lining to the right side and trim that seam and turn it right side out and press it. And then you actually sew like every half inch you sew.
Like you could run elastic in all those, really.
Yeah,
it's almost like every single
one. It's so
one's
not necessary. Mm-hmm. And then you thread a 3/8 inch elastic through. I mean, mine had five casings because I made this a size 10. And so I actually I enlarged this piece a little bit, just a little, because I wanted it to not be too snug on their tummy. And because my little girls, I mean, I wasn't sure if she'd wear a 10. And so
So what you did is you actually sewed a larger insert than the 10 required.
I did.
Okay. So you went with a larger size of the pattern.
And it might have called for a 4.5 inch elastic, 4.5 inch elastic. And I actually cut it 5 inches or 5.5. I gave it a little more. I thought I can always take it in. And so, anyway, when Madeline came today, it fit her perfectly.
So why is that so cool?
Well, because this is a perfect fit. I mean, it's easy to fit a child, and there are no buttons, there are no plackets, there's nothing. Once you get your top done, you just have to sew your skirt to it, and it's quick. But not only that, this piece is completely encased by the lining. I haven't finished this yet, so sorry about that.
She will never finish this, just so you know. This is completely finished. But if you're following the pattern, it would look differently.
Yeah, it would look better, right?
You could never see it. You might as well never finish it.
Well, Madeline wanted to wear it today.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it. But so this raw edge is completely encased, and it's very, very simple to do. Very simple. And so actually what you do is you sew one part of your strap to the bodice back, the other part of the strap to the bodice back lining, and then you sew it together in one big piece. So that saves you fabric too, because you can get these little pieces down the side of the other
scraps everywhere.
You
Yeah.
can.
So what we were showing y'all was the bodkin to flip the straps the right side out. We do have a few different bodkins. So Sally also loves the bodkin. I mean, for turning things right side out. But there's different versions.
Like this one I couldn't find. I have like
off the wall.
8.
It's missing the
down
thing.
here. Oh,
I totally got that on the wall.
Well, that needs to go by my sewing machine, because I was looking for that. I was looking for that to thread the elastic through here.
I saw you do it with a safety pin.
I did it with a safety pin. Can you believe that?
So there
Terrible.
are 2 types that I'm referring to here. We do have the longer ones, which is awesome because it doesn't have that sharp point. So you get that rounded edge, which Sally loves notions, but she really loves to open the same notions over and over and have those available to sew with. So this is one that
pick my sewing machine up just if it's under. Did it roll underneath there? Where in the
gracious.
world did it go?
Oh my goodness. So this is the ballpoint bodkin by Dritz. We also have I don't even know who this is by. This is also a ballpoint bodkin. Who in the world makes this? This Pretty Flower company makes this. Precision Crafted Tooltron.
There you go.
Tooltron Industries is this type. But for running your elastic, this is really handy because you can clip the elastic into one side. Show them that. Get a little closer up here.
One comment, Ruth Ellen Rickerson says, "Be proud of your working and talented hands."
Oh, thank you, Ruth Ellen. Thank you. I'm proud. But sometimes when I look at them, they're like, "Ooh, that looks rough."
I like Sandy Reed's comment. Nurses love to see nice veins on hands, arms, wrist.
Oh, no kidding. Nurses love it. Yeah. So this has a little, and they have little grooves on the end of this, so you can see it. So if you needed to thread ribbon or elastic through something,
all right, this is where, like, if you flip over to Facebook or YouTube, you can really see this overhead component. It's pretty cool.
So when you slide this little ring down here, it tightens the grippers.
My favorite is the mechanical description of this notion. It's a ring tightening gripper tool.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then it slides through casings really, really well. Because see, you can.
Regina says you also use straight pins from the store-bought shirts and things.
Listen, I'm always hunting around on the floor to see where's another straight pin.
I'll never forget Connie Palmer being in here, y'all, and her looking at the needles in our pin cushion, like Sally's beside her sewing machine. And she was like, "Sally, these are crap." She was like, "You need to throw these away." They were like rusted straight pins. I mean,
I do throw away the rusty ones now. When I see a rusty one, I do.
We need some Connie cleanup around here is what we need.
Well, I'm very frugal about some things. Not about all things.
I'm going to go through my clothes and see if I can find rusty pin marks where Sally's used some junk pin.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so let's see. I think we're coming to our drawing time, aren't we?
I don't
Are
know.
you ready to draw?
You want to show that pretty knit? That's a new piece.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie. I had several other fabrics down here today that y'all have purchased. So the newsletter goes out on Tuesday and Friday morning.
Oh, and now they're sold out.
It's the best way to stay up with the latest and greatest at Farmhouse, and it shows you. I mean, we might show them here at Gab and Gush first, or you might get it on the newsletter. But once it goes out to the newsletter people, you might not have it down here for Gab and Gush. So this is a knit. And I forgot to feature it this morning because it is really pretty, and I'm not sure it would be here if I had featured it.
Yeah.
So
it's sweet.
It is really
hey,
sweet.
Stretch it, pull it, and see. Oh yeah, it's real stretchy.
Lots of stretch. It's a two-way, I guess.
Not much up and down, but
Yeah.
lots going this way.
Mm-hmm.
And very soft.
I'm
and pretty.
actually gonna do the overhead to show y'all. Look how sweet the little design that the fabric is.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you call that? Like, it just has like this basket weave look to it.
Mhm.
And then it has this little printed flower. I mean, the colors make me think more of fall, and then it's on like a soft ivory backing.
It'd be wonderful little turtlenecks
It would be
in the fall
so
under
cute.
corduroy jumpers.
But it
Wouldn't that
really,
be?
it is super
Or
sweet.
a little nightgown if you're so inclined. I want to show this
A
because
nightgown.
wouldn't that be
cute?
comfy? This is an example of the border print. Now Regina Karish made this dress, and I'm telling you, we weren't able to keep it in stock. And this is the Molly pattern by Simple Life Pattern Company. And so
She wants y'all to say, woohoo, she remembered it.
I'm
She
looking
looked
at
at me
it
like, is that right?
that's right, right? I was waiting for her to help fill it in if I stumbled.
Mhm.
But look how cute this fabric is. And so this fabric in blue was featured in the most recent issue of Classic Sewing magazine. And
With Ann Parker
You
from
would-
Cross-Eyed Cricket.
yes,
Yeah.
and so she had made a smocking plate just for this fabric.
For
So-
the designs that are on the border. So it has like sailboats across
Mhm,
the
mhm.
smock piece. And then also it has, is the pattern available for that smock
It's in the
insert with
magazine. It's in the magazine.
So you absolutely could change your smocking floss colors to suit this
Yeah,
look with,
that's right.
with that fabric.
That's right.
It's
Yeah,
cute.
it's cute.
Mhm.
It's cute. So anyway,
And we got to see that dress in person, which was so much fun.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, having Ann Parker here with her new smocking plates, and then just talking to her about, she's so creative. Oh my
Cool.
goodness. So
Hey,
what?
are you talking about this Tuesday? Who's coming the
Oh.
17th?
You talk about that. That's another goodie.
All right, y'all. When we end this Gab and Gush, I'm going to get straight on the phone with Shelly Smola of Shelly Smola Designs, and she does gorgeous machine embroidery. I'm going to struggle with how to describe her because they are. She has these.
Well, if you've ever been
houses.
to a show and you walk past her booth that's set up, you will never forget it because it's so
It'll
unbelievable.
stop you in
and
your
yeah,
tracks.
it
I mean, you're
does.
like, what is that?
Her work
It's
is
different.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So she's going to be here. She's going to have like a trunk show of stuff to show
Mhm.
everyone. We're going to be talking about her designs and where you can find her.
Mhm.
And we are going to be so excited to host Shelly Smola Tuesday, May 17th. So y'all make sure that y'all check in with us. And we will be here live around 12 p.m. So let's draw.
All right. So we had a lot of response to this, and we are our giveaway this time. And if you don't know how to do this, every Tuesday and Friday, Chris and I come on here and do a Facebook Live and Instagram Live.
I was like, it's Emma, but you're right. Monday and Thursday, we post a giveaway
Yeah.
video. Sally and I
I
draw
was going
on
to get
Tuesday
to that. I
and
was
Friday.
going to get to that, but that's okay. So anyway, so on the day before, when Emma and I posted a giveaway, then under that giveaway on Instagram and Facebook, you can put a comment. We'd like you to tag a friend. We're trying to get the word out, and we love for you to be on our newsletter. So
Y'all, if you missed this one, it was
This is a
really
good one.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
one that Sally goes, oh,
I know I did.
I don't know if I'm going to give this away.
I've been thinking about that.
So if you haven't heard, we are so happy to have Trudy Horn's Lillian dress patterns It includes the christening gown and day dress in one size range, and then the dress, the actual Lillian dress in the 1 to 4. So both are now available here at Farmhouse, and we're so excited. We're going to give away a copy of each.
Yes, with 2 beautiful pieces of fabric. So somebody in this little bin is going to be our winner. You want me to do it?
Oh yeah.
Here we
So she'll
go.
remember your name because you got her beautiful fabric.
This is Jeannie Crawford, and she said, "I like to watch Gavin Gush." And so Jeannie Crawford is our winner. And so we will be contacting you and getting your information. What?
So Mary Lynch Rawlings, she was our winner last week, and she said she has already started on that border fabric and smocking Anne's design.
Hey, we want to see that.
Yes,
that would be fun.
That's great.
That's
I
cool.
love to hear that. That's neat. All right.
Y'all join us back here on Tuesday with the talented Shelly Smola, and I need to go make a phone call to her and verify all of our meeting stuff. All right, we'll see